it doesn't always come up to that second confirmation level. So I decided to go with the first one because I know that it doesn't always go to the second one, right? Plus, on top of that, we understand that by us knowing where that second confirmation level is, our stop loss should not be any bigger than the wick from above. And in that case, the wick from above is right over here. Therefore, that's why my stop loss is right above that level. Okay, now that I have that in consideration, I now know my swing retracement, okay, from an institutional standpoint. We see our swing retracement coming into this zone. If we want to go ahead and put Fibonacci's, of course we can. Now, there's many people that say that trade institutional that they don't use Fibonacci. I believe that is absurd. That is nonsense because they know this from experience, right? So in this case level, it correlates with a 78.6 Fibonacci retracement, which I love, right? I love this correlation that I'm seeing at this moment. Now, at this point, when I start seeing this, when I start seeing these confirmations, I now know, okay, one, we have a daily confirmation that market will continue swinging down. On the 8-4 time frame, we have a break of direction. On the 1 hour time frame, we're looking at details as far as where can the market retrace up into. And here comes the important part. When is it that I'm going to trade? Because I could have traded this. Of course, I could have traded this, and this could have been a 34 pip stop loss, and the overall TP that I want for 486. But our TP would have led us with a 1 to 12 risk reward, which is good, but it's not the best. I can refine it a lot better. Due to the fact that I was able to go on lower time frames, like on the 5-minute and the 1-minute and the 15-minute, I was able to understand when it was that I was going to trade. Now, luckily, the market came up into this zone, okay? Luckily, the market came up into a zone at the time of New York, and I was able to catch the entry right up over here. Okay, I was able to catch the entry at a 1.34725 level. That's where I was able to catch the entry, as you guys can see over here. This is the level where I caught the entry at 1.34725. It says 28, but it was 25. And just for those people that want to go ahead and see that this is something that I actually did, I'll show you guys over here. Here's a before. I was able to take a screenshot right away because market moved very, very quick. And good thing I have recorded so that way you guys can see that this was something I actually did. You guys can see this was on the 1-minute time frame. My first take profit, or overall my first area where I can break even, is at a 1 to 3 risk reward. Then we had the next TP, which is going to be at a 1 to 14 TP, 1 to 14 risk reward, meaning that for every 1% I was risking, I was potentially gaining a 14%. And finally, I was able to see my daily time frame perspective, which would have led me to a 1 to 52, almost 53 risk reward ratio, meaning that for every 1%, I was gaining potential between 52 to 53% on this trade alone. Now, as you guys can see, we are currently running at about a 1 to 42 risk to reward where market maxed out. Am I still holding this trade? Yes. Have I taken partials? Of course I've taken partials. Now, going into this, I want to show you guys that this is a trade that I was able to go ahead and call out during the time that we go ahead and trade. Here is a quick little recording. I'm gonna go ahead and skim through it because it does have music and I don't want to get copyrighted. So here it is. I'm saying about the price that I wanted to go into, which is 1.34725. Look at this. I'm gonna go ahead and call it right there. Buscar esas entradas potencialmente en el 7.25. 725, right when I call it, you can see that market came up into 725, and then market started pushing to the downside. So as you guys can see, that's the area where I decided to go ahead and look for my slam opportunities. There is that video. Now we go over to the next video. You guys can clearly see that I'm talking about it going to that 1 to 15 risk reward, which is the second TP that I decided to go ahead and look into. I'm going to go ahead and mute this because I do not want to get demonetized. But going into that, you guys can see this, the fact that market was coming into that zone where I decided to go ahead and look for that next risk reward, which is that 1 to 14 risk reward. Going to the next video, you guys can see me talking about the market going into a potential 1 to 52 risk reward when I was able to go to the daily time frame perspective, being able to see this accumulation of price where I decided to go ahead and take that as a pointer for a potential 1 to 52, 1 to 53 risk reward. Now, these are things that you can do as well by simply refining your entry. Now, Mauricio, how did you get this entry? How were you able to get that such small stop loss of 8 pips and that big risk reward of a 1 to 52, 1 to 53 risk reward and pips about 480 pips? Well, here it is. I was able to understand that my overall swing was going to be from a daily perspective. I knew that my other time frames, I was seeing that market was already coming to zones that I wanted to. And then on this smaller time frame, which is the M5, I refined with entry. Now, what we're seeing is